September we met, I could tell by your smile. You hadn't been with a good girl like me in a while. Yeah, you were impressed, couldn't leave me alone. Text me every time that you pick up the phone. And I had control in the driver's seat, but my hands are slipping off the wheel. Now the tables have turned, now I'm up all night. I'm picturing you, acting like a fool. I'm on the other side, you're like a full moon, and I'm up all night.
Hi. I don't very often do a rant on the weekend, but I see that the Sussex Express, my good friend Sarah Clues, and the lovely people who run the Facebook group Lewis Present have called again for action for Anna Campbell. Mirador Television has been calling for action for Anna since June, and there has been sweet bugger all that has really happened as a result of anything, whether it's our local MP, whether it's direct approach to the Foreign Office, a direct approach to the government, a direct approach to the diplomatic corps, and even a yelling at the Turks whose bombing killed her. Who is Anna Campbell, you may say, in case you haven't followed this case? Well, Anna Campbell was a 26-year-old Louisian, a girl of high principle who went off to fight on behalf of Kurdish women in Syria against SIS, and she was killed. But she was killed in a bombing raid by the Turks, who have done very little to respect any parts of the Geneva Convention and help get her body back. Her father and family, Dirk Campbell, a well-known piper, have grieved since that time, have done as much as they possibly can to get Anna back, and it's all failed. Well, now it is time, I think, for us all to start to yell and to rant and to shout. Government is getting out of control. Government at every level is out of control. They simply do not listen to the people, even in issues like that of Anna Campbell, which is an emotional issue. It's an issue of pity and consideration for the individual. They just simply don't care anymore, and it's about time that they started to care, because what's happening in other parts of the world where people are turfing out governments and putting up perhaps even less acceptable, but nonetheless at least opposition governments, is going to happen here. And it wouldn't surprise me if that doesn't happen sooner rather than later. But I'm upset about Anna Campbell, and I've termed it the Jenkins ear case. And in case you don't know who Jenkins was and Jenkins' ear was, in the 1700s there was a captain of an English cutter called Jenkins, who was sailing off the coasts of the West Indies when a Spanish customs boat boarded under an international agreement, but then there was a scuffle and Jenkins had his ear cut off. And myth would have it that the British government went to war over Jenkins' ear, and it was known as the Jenkins Ear War. The fact is, of course, is that no government ever has that sort of heart, and Jenkins was used as an excuse to start a war rather than as an individual for whom the state went to battle. It would be nice to think that they did. But it's always held up, and was held up when I was a boy taking history, as an example of the state doing something for the individual rather than in the interest of the state. And would that it be? But if in fact it's remembered that way, let's remember it that way, and let's hope that Jenkins' ear can be repeated, and that the government, in this particular case for Anna, will start to put considerations of state aside and of diplomacy and all the other negotiations which get so complicated nowadays. The only person that has driven through them with a tank is Donald Trump. God bless him. But let's hope that our state will now look at the individual case of Anna Campbell and do everything they can to bring her body back for her grieving father, Dirk. We in Lewis may be small, but we have a great history of having a terrific voice. from the Battle of Lewes through to Tom Paine, through to a good many other ranters that have come down the pike and have made and established a protest with the establishment, with the traditional governments, with the bureaucracy. Well, you know, I am so angry about this that, as you can see, words are finding difficulty in coming out of my mouth. And most people who know me would say, Keith, you never have any problems with words. So let's do something. Let's bring Anna back. Bring Anna back. And remember, every time that somebody asks you what it's all about, talk about the Jenkins Ear War. It's a similar situation. The state owes it to this girl and to her family as an individual, not because she died on some foreign field that we barely recognise. It's a weekend. Can't think of anything more useful to do than to ask to bring Anna Campbell's body back.